My name is Harold Bennett, and I'm 84 years old. I'm sitting at my kitchen table this morning, the same one I've had for 30 years, and I finally understand why I felt lonely even when I was loved. It took me this long. That's the part that still surprises me. I don't have a lot of mornings left where my mind feels clear enough to say something like this out loud. I'm not telling this to fix anything. There isn't much left to fix. I'm saying it because it feels dishonest not to, and because silence has already taken enough from me. People think loneliness means being alone. That's not how it was for me. I was married for 58 years. I have 2 children, 3 grandchildren. I worked steadily. I paid my bills. I showed up. If you looked at my life from the outside, you would have said I was surrounded. But I felt a quiet hollowness most days, even when the house was full. At 84, you start counting things differently. You count the people who are gone. You count the rooms you don't use anymore. You count the stories you never told because there was always another day. Now there aren't many days left to assume. Most mornings I wake up before the sun. My knees hurt, my hands shake a little, and the house is silent in a way it never used to be. I make coffee, I barely finish, and sit here, listening to the refrigerator hum like it's keeping me company. That's when the thinking starts. I didn't feel lonely because no one loved me. I felt lonely because I never really let myself be known. I didn't know that at the time. I just felt tired, distracted, slightly removed, like I was watching my own life from a few steps back. When I was younger, in my 20s and 30s, I thought loneliness was something dramatic, something obvious. A man drinking alone at a bar, an empty apartment. I didn't think it could exist inside a full life. I met my wife, Margaret, when I was 26. She laughed easily, loudly, sometimes. I was quieter, more careful. She liked that I listened. I liked that she filled space without asking permission. We married fast, not recklessly, just confidently. That's how it felt. I worked at the same manufacturing plant for nearly 4 decades. Started on the floor, moved into supervision, long hours, steady pay. It mattered to me to be reliable, to be needed, to be the man who didn't cause trouble. Margaret stayed home when the kids were young. Later, she worked part-time at the library. She always had stories about people, about feelings, about things I didn't know how to talk about. I listened, I nodded, I offered solutions when she wasn't asking for any. I thought that was love. Our house was never empty. Kids running in and out, friends over for dinner, birthdays, holidays, noise. And yet, even then, I sometimes felt like I was behind glass, close enough to see everything clearly, not close enough to feel it in my bones. I didn't say that to anyone. Men my age didn't talk like that. I told myself I was just tired, or busy, or not the emotional type. That was the phrase I used. I'm just not emotional. It sounded reasonable, responsible even. I thought if I kept doing what needed to be done, the feeling would pass. I thought fulfillment arrived later, once things settled down. Things never really settled down, they just changed shape. The loneliness didn't announce itself. It accumulated, quietly, in ordinary moments. Missing a school play because work ran late, promising I'd make it up later. Later never came. Letting conversations drift toward logistics instead of meaning. Who's picking up groceries? Who's paying the bill? Who needs what? Sitting at the dinner table while Margaret talked about her day and realizing I couldn't remember the last time I shared something that scared me. Telling myself there would be time. I wasn't unkind, I wasn't cruel. That's important to say. I showed up to birthdays, I hugged my kids, I told Margaret I loved her, but I didn't let myself be vulnerable. Not really. I thought love was proven by endurance, by consistency, by staying. I didn't understand that presence isn't the same as closeness. There's a moment I think about often now. I was probably in my early 40s. Margaret asked me one night, very calmly, "Do you ever feel lonely?" I laughed. I actually laughed. I said, "How could I? Look at this place." She didn't argue. She just nodded. That should have told me something. Instead, I let the moment pass. I was good at that. Letting moments pass. Years went by. The kids grew up, moved out, called less often than I expected, not because they didn't care, just because life fills up. Margaret and I settled into routines, comfortable ones, coffee in the morning, television at night, small talk that kept things smooth. I loved her, I truly did, but love without openness can still feel lonely. I didn't know how to explain that then. I barely know how to explain it now. It's the loneliness of being seen only in outline, of being appreciated for what you provide, not for what you carry inside, and realizing too late that you're the one who kept the door closed. The turning point wasn't dramatic, no shouting, no sudden collapse. Margaret got sick when she was 76. Cancer, caught late, the kind of late that doesn't leave room for bargaining. Hospital rooms have a way of stripping life down to essentials. Machines, beeping, long silences. One afternoon she looked at me and said, "I wish we'd talked more." Her voice wasn't accusing, just tired. I didn't know what to say. I wanted to argue, to say we talked all the time, to list the years, the meals, the shared life. But standing there, holding her hand, I knew exactly what she meant. I nodded. That's what I did instead. She died 3 months later. After the funeral, people filled the house. Food, stories, sympathy. They told me how lucky I was, how strong I was, how loved she'd been. And they were right. But when the house emptied, the loneliness was louder than anything I'd ever felt. Not because she was gone, but because of everything we never said while she was here. That's a different kind of grief, heavier somehow. I realized then that I'd spent my life assuming connection would happen automatically if I stayed long enough, if I did my part, if I didn't rock the boat. But closeness doesn't drift in on its own. It has to be invited. I had confused being dependable with being open. I had been loved deeply, and I had still felt alone, because love offered and love received are not the same thing. Some things can't be fixed. That's the truth I have to live with now. I can't go back and tell Margaret what I was afraid of. I can't ask her the questions I avoided. I can't let her see the parts of me I kept tucked away because I didn't think they mattered. Time doesn't circle back. It just moves on. My children are kind to me. They visit when they can. We talk about weather, about their jobs, about their kids. Sometimes I want to tell them things about doubt, about regret, about how easy it is to disappear inside your own life. But the words don't always come. Old habits don't loosen easily. So I sit here at this table talking to you instead. If you're listening to this and you're younger than I am, I don't have instructions for you. I'm not qualified for that. I only know what I wish I'd understood sooner. Loneliness isn't always about being alone. Sometimes it's about being unexpressed. Sometimes the people closest to you are waiting quietly for you to step forward, and they won't wait forever. I thought there would always be more time to say the important things. I was wrong. You don't have to be dramatic. You don't have to be eloquent. You just have to be honest while the chance still exists. If this meant something to you, you don't owe me anything. Just don't assume tomorrow will be more forgiving than today. As for me, I have mornings like this one. Coffee, silence, memory. I don't feel at peace exactly, but I feel clear. And clarity at this age is enough. That's all I wanted to say.